The defeat of Arphaxad. Then Nebuchadnezzar was extremely angry with all that land, and swore by his throne and his kingdom that he would take vengeance on all the regions of Sicilia and Damascus and Syria, that he would stay with the sword all the inhabitants of the land of Moab, and the sons of Ammon, and all Judea, and all those in Egypt as far as the borders of the two seas. So, in his 17th year, he marched with his army against King Arphaxad and defeated him in battle. He routed the whole army of Arphaxad and all his cavalry and all his chariots. He ruled over his cities. Then he came to Ecbatana and took over its towers and plundered its marketplaces and put its adornments to shame. He captured Arphaxad in the mountains of Regal and ran him through with his spears, totally destroying him that day. Then he returned, he and all his sundry multitude of a great many warriors, and they rested there and feasted sumptuously for 120 days. Nebuchadnezzar's secret plan for war. In the 18th year, on the 22nd day of the first month, in the house of Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, it came about there was talk that it was time to take vengeance on all the land, just as he had said. So he summoned all his officers and all his nobles, and he laid out verbally all the wickedness of the land. They determined to destroy everyone who had obeyed his summons, who had not obeyed his summons. When he finished his plan, Nebuchadnezzar, king of the Assyrians, called Holofernes, the chief captain of his army, second in command to him, and said to him, "Thus says the great king, the Lord of all the earth, behold, you shall go out from my presence and take men confident in their strength with you, 120,000 foot soldiers and 12,000 cavalry, march against all the land of the west, because they disobeyed my commands. You shall order them to prepare the earth and water, for I will come out in wrath, and I will cover the whole face of the land with footprints of my army, and I will give them over to my army as plunder. Their wounded will fill the valleys, and their brooks and the rivers shall be overflowing with their dead. I will lead them away as captives to the end of the whole earth, and going out ahead of me, you shall seize all their territory. They will surrender themselves to you, and you shall hold them for me until the day of their punishment. Against the ones who refuse, let your eye not spare them, and give them over to slaughter and plunder throughout all your territory. For as I live, and by the power of my kingdom, what I have spoken I will do by my hand. Take heed and do not transgress any of the orders of your Lord, but carry them out fully, just as I have commanded you, and do it without any delay." Notes from the previous page. 1:6. The sons of Chaldea are a central power of the alliance that defeats the great army of Arphaxad. 1:13. The irony is that these sons will prove powerless before a daughter of the Hebrews. 10:12. The Euphrates, the Tigris, and the Hydaspes, a river in India, alludes to a large territory ruled by Artaxerxes. See Esther 1:1. 1:10. From Ethiopia to the Hydaspes gives the full breadth of Nebuchadnezzar's proclaimed authority. 1:11. Building on 1:6, the author here introduces the supreme irony of the story. The Lord of all the earth, Nebuchadnezzar, 2:5, will be shown as but one man, and men confident in their strength, 2:5, will be sent away empty-handed and dishonored. 1:12. The borders of the two seas is parallel to the boundaries of Ethiopia. 1:10. Great rivers are sometimes called seas in ancient Hebrew literature. 1:15. The mountains of Ragu are some 200 miles east of Ecbatana, away from direct direction of attack. Thus, Arphaxad was captured while fleeing from defeat. 1:16. They returned to Nineveh. 2:1. The first month is Nisan, March through April, and the 22nd day is the day after the end of the Feast of the Unleavened Bread of the Hebrew calendar.